You're listening to The Vault Unlocked, where the real secrets of success are revealed. Every episode, one founder, one confession, one strategy that created income, scale, and unstoppable growth. The code is cracked. The vault is open. Today, we have Grant Fuellenbach. How are we doing, Grant?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Can't complain on this.
Awesome. Where are you located, just so we know?
Yeah, I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Okay, awesome. Now, as we get into this, we always start off. Tell us a little bit about what you do, the product you have, service you have, and we'll go into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I own and operate a company called Go First Consulting. We are relatively new, started at the beginning of the year, but we help builders and remodelers essentially systematize their ops using like practical AI and different tools.
Okay, I love this. So consulting service, working with builders. So we're talking like home builders and stuff like this, or?
Bingo. Yep, you name it.
I love this. So home services. So where home service is, and you're getting them into AI. You're helping them with AI operations software?
You got it. Yep.
Tell me, I get it, but I want to know more because what does that mean, right? Those are all vague. So tell me exactly how you... I love the business because I know that this is a big business. Like there's, so that's why I'm excited. But so let's take a step back.
My background's in VDC, or like visual design construction, and comp tech. So I've been in tech sales, selling construction software for over a decade at this point.
Okay, love it. Okay,
and so I have a pretty extensive familiarity with both residential and commercial construction. And through that experience, my roles in the companies I've worked for generally are around like rev ops, director of sales ops. So I'm implementing a lot of tech for sales teams and marketing teams. And through that, I noticed, just in the industry, I noticed that there's this tremendous gap between, builders who are doing amazing work and actually running a solid like P&L or forecast, or training their sales team on how to actually use their CRM, right? And so I dove in headfirst into that, just ultimately helping these guys alleviate some of the issues with like what's called lead flow and sales ops. And then that expanded into basically all challenges. So everything from lead flow all the way to like talent and workflow or workforce management, right?
Okay. Let's help you out here because this is just what I'm getting here. So the traditional bias, which I believe is to be true, right? These guys that own these building contract companies, they're just builders at heart. They're not actual business owners. They just want to do the job. They want to get the teams going, and that's where their focus kind of is. They don't really know how to build this systems. What I mean is build the systems of the business. So when you're talking about the CRM, I was kind of, what's he talking about? And then it got to me. You mean you're helping them actually implement CRMs into their businesses so they can actually take leads, convert those leads, and turn those leads into customers that they can actually build for. So you're talking about business operations, right? You're talking about sales teams. They're sales teams. They don't know how to run sales teams. They're they're builders. They've never learned how to let alone build a business, run actual sales teams. So you've come in and you do the tech side of that stuff.
You nailed it. Exactly. Yep.
So they can see reporting. It sounds like not just reporting, but making sure the operations, the systems, things are firing, salespeople are supported, lead flow is there, understanding from opt-in, let's call it, or from the moment they say, I'm interested, all the way down to the sale. Did the sale happen? Did it not happen? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And now you've tied this into AI.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of those, the one big, I would say like hook that I use is it really doesn't matter what CRM you're using as a builder. We're not asking you to replace your tech stack. All the AI and the practical systems that we implement work alongside the tools you already have.
Okay. Is the AI that you have, is it a system that you guys built, or do you guys build the AI for their system?
Yeah, so it's actually just me, and I built all these different... Have you ever heard the term vibe coding?
Vibe coding?
Yeah.
No. Tell us, what is vibe coding?
This concept that, you could take like an AI model and just talk to it and tell it an idea, and it would actually code it out. It would build it out as it was a developer, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of these tools that, I've kind of brainstormed that work alongside these CRMs and whatnot, I've just built using vibe coding applications.
Okay. So we now have an idea of, just so we're clear here, we know who you go after. You go after home builders. And the problem you solve is business, I'm going to say business operations, logistics, really all of things that a typical home builder who owns a business doesn't want to deal with. They might not even know the problem even exists because they really have no idea. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yep.
So what's your client acquisition strategy? How do you acquire your clients, i.e. these builders? How do you sell them? Tell me about the sales process.
Great question. So the number one way that I've been able to so far is through lead magnets. And I found a channel on the NAHB, or National Association of Home Builders, which is the biggest association in the US. And I literally, every 2 weeks, I just drop a new lead magnet, which is basically just a new tool, right?
This is fascinating. I'm so fascinated already. When you say this association is like an online community?
Yeah. And then there's also so every more or less larger county has its own association too. So
you're actually in person?
No. I mean, I can go to the Larimer County or the Fort Collins NAHB, or I think it's called NOCO HB. So North.
But there's like an online community or some, like they all huddle somewhere online.
Yeah.
So you're going online. So you're getting free traffic is what I'm hearing here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you're going online, and every 2 weeks you're just dropping value with a little authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
And saying, hey, if you're having issues like this, or hey, did you know X? Get them hooked. Oh, and then what?
And then basically I kickstart them onto a discovery call where I walk them through my 3-step process.
Do you have, this is great, before you get them on a discovery call, are you sending them into DMs? Are you like DM setting?
Yeah. So I use a lot of like drip campaigns, and then somebody said it, I forget who said it, but I like this idea of like constant gentle pressure. Right. So like through email, LinkedIn, different text, even occasionally. Basically, I also have a newsletter that I create through AI and whatnot, but I keep them in the
engaged.
Yeah. For everything that I release.
This is called list building, just so we're clear. So you're list building, you're getting their email, you're getting their first name, last name, and then you're putting them onto a list, and you're constantly speaking to them at all different levels of awareness, and you're building a list. That's what you're doing. You're building your email newsletter list, okay? And then through that, you give them a helping hand, which says book a strategy call.
That's right.
Who's taking those strategy calls? You or salespeople?
Me. Yeah.
Okay. Because you're just started, so that makes sense. And then they get on a call, and you said you use a 3-step process. So I was like, oh, interesting. What's your 3-step process?
Yeah. So the discovery call is I basically just get a high level of where they're currently at, and just talk them through this. And the 3-step process is I do a diagnostic, or actually I invite them to the diagnostic, and it takes about 75 minutes. It's a pretty extensive calculator form thing, but it does a deep dive into their business. So their tech stack, their org chart, who's their ICP, how are they going about client acquisition, how are they finding talent, everything, right? And then through that, I mean, if they've already filled out this form, I know that they're vested in the process already. Yeah. Then the second step is I take that and I run it through an AI model that says, where are the risks and where's the like issues in order if they're going to continue, growing as they're growing. Yeah. And then based off of that, the second step is I enroll them into let me back up. So they do the diagnostic, we do an assessment review where basically I take the results, walk them through, hey, here's your risk, here's how I can help, yada, yada. Yeah. Then the second step in that is called a map, and I call it a mutual action program. Basically, it's about a 6-week program, consists of about 6 different modules that each have different assets and tools in them. That costs $5,500. And then after that, I enroll them into a builder academy, which is kind of like an agile project management phase, if you will. And that's step 3.
So I'm hearing a 3-step. This is what you're saying is a 3-step process. On the call, your only job then, what I'm hearing is the first call is discovery. Is this the right client and do they have a problem? If I discover that they have a right problem and they are my right ICP, so let's talk about that. What is your ICP?
So mine is basically builders who are over 1.5 million in ARR. And
okay, I love it. Like most people, right, don't even know that. Like home builders that are doing at least 1.5 million in ARR, right? What else? We got to have another one. What else?
Yeah,
I don't know home builders, so I don't know. What else would it be?
Yeah. Big one is if they've invested in a CRM like JobTread or Builder Trend. Those are the 2 bigger ones that are usually pretty pricey.
And they're having a good time with it. They're not having a good time with it, or they don't even know. Like,
doesn't really matter that much. Most of the time, they're not having a good time because
I figured that. But I love this. Like, I love it, and this is why you're probably doing something. I could tell you're probably doing okay right now.
Yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah, and the reason why people, how could Kayvon tell? Very simple. You know your ICP so well. You already knew what it was. And if you know your ICP, you know how to speak to them at every level. So your ICP is very clear to me. Are you a home builder? A. Do you have ARR at 1.5? I believe you said $1.5 million ARR, right? And did you invest into the CRM? If you don't have these 3 things, I don't help you. I can't help you. I don't want to help you. Amazing. So now we've identified that those three things happen on that discovery call. You then what? You offer them a diagnostic. You say, hey, come fill this form out. Correct?
Yep, exactly.
Do you charge for that?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I realize that it's the way that I pitch it or the way that I present it is basically, whether you want to move forward with me or not, this is basically a resource that you can use to get a better understanding of where your gaps are at.
Do you sell anything on that call, or is the next step just the diagnostic?
Yeah, usually the next step is, exactly that. I have a channel partner network. So if they don't have a CRM in place or if they don't have a handful of these tools, but usually I don't sell anything.
So they go, okay, and then they get off the phone and they got to self-do this. Like, you're not doing this for them. They're going to go input this information into the form. You wait for the form. You take the form. You put it through AI. AI spits out what you need, and you book a second call?
Bingo. Yep.
Do you book that second call on that first call to confirm?
Yeah. So I usually ask them, I walk them through the process. And then I'll ask them how long it will take them to do that, or if they can get it done by the end of the week. And then if they agree to that, then I say, all right, well, I'll tell you what, why don't we schedule our next, follow-up call to review the assessment next Monday.
And then you use that second call, step 2 call, to give them the outcomes, and then you upsell them into a $5,000, $5,500 product. What's that product again?
The MAP, so mutual action plan.
So, hey, here's your problem. Here's what's going to happen if you keep going down this road, right? Here's a map of what you need to do to fix it. Is that correct?
Yep.
And that's done with you, done for you, done do it yourself?
That one is a little bit of a combination because I jump on one call a week with them to basically walk through the tools that they have available that week and like how to implement them, how to get some consistent. And I have tutorials on all the tools. So it's a little bit of hand holding, but most of it is done for them.
Okay. I like that. And then at the end of that, the ones that actually implement and that you see that are actually doing the work, showing up, those are the ones where you offer the next level where they bring you in to actually do the heavy lifting, to do the consulting. What are you doing at level 3?
Yeah. So from there, basically, I have a really strong idea of where their gaps are. The tools are very helpful, but they're not a solve all. And so basically from there, we put together kind of a scope of what the next 6 months look like.
Yeah.
And, I even have if you're familiar with Agile, there's a thing.
Yeah, I know Agile. Yeah.
Sprint points, And so I kind of even have my own currency on how I dictate how much things are going to cost in that currency. And then we basically just take it from there.
And then, but what's the third offer? What's the...
Oh yeah, I just call it the Builder Academy.
And what does that get them?
So that gets them basically 2 meetings a week with me where we go through, at the beginning, we're talking about what's going to be built out, how they're going to use it, and what they're accountable for, what I need from them.
Yeah.
End of the week, basically a synap or just an assessment or review of what's
a checkpoint of where we at, what's going, what's working, roadblocks. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So a lot of that part is actually taken from EOS.
Yeah.
90. And so I actually built a kind of a replicate of 90 and that I can track all the KPIs off of. Yeah.
And you have rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's working well. The people that are going through it, loving it. It's going great.
Yeah.
How much is that third product? You have 5,500 and then how much?
So generally we're looking at an average of maybe 7,500 per month.
Okay. Oh, a month.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. There we go. Okay.
So I built out 4 levels in the Builder Academy.
Yeah.
And it's basically a roadmap. It says, you're here at phase 2. In order to get to phase 3, you need to do boom, boom, boom. Here's how long it'll take. Here's all the things that you need to do. And so I already have my task list in front of me.
Yeah, I love it. So you're in an elevator. Someone says, what is it you do? Grant, what do you do? What do you say?
Yeah, I help builders build better systems for their business.
I help builders build better systems for their business. How's that work out?
So I actually did a little bit of a role play. Can I just kind of start over instead of doing an elevator pitch? Can I just say hey, Kayvon, thanks for taking this call. I really appreciate it. So prior to this, I had a chance to actually look at your portfolio, look at your Instagram, and you make some kick-ass houses. I can absolutely tell you are a world-class, if not best-in-class builder, at least in your area. But I have to ask you, and this is just a hunch, but I'm going to assume that your back-end systems might not be as buttoned up as the projects and the builds that you deliver on.
I can say that. What do you mean by back-end system? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So basically your sales process, how you're getting leads, how you're tracking all of that and your forecasts, and also how you're finding your subs and your talent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's quite a bit of a mess for sure. Yeah.
Is that so obviously you're doing something right, or you're doing a handful of things, many things right, because of the quality of projects that you're working on. But, apart from me just having this random conversation with you, has that been something that you focused on in the past or that people have helped you kind of identify?
No, it's not really a big, I don't find it a big deal for me anyways. I mean, we got so many projects on the go, I can't even keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you finding those projects? Is it word of mouth, or are you spending on...
I'd stop you right there. Stopping you right there.
Yeah.
Because now we're doing some sales training here. I love it. I wouldn't have, you're asking about the projects, but I just gave you something. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose to give you gold. Gave you, whoa. What do you mean? And don't assume. This is where a lot of salespeople go wrong. They assume. They just think, even if you know because you're an expert. You can't tell them where things are going wrong because a golden rule. When you say something, it means something. When they say something, it means everything. So the only way to get them to say it is by asking the question, whoa, what do you mean by can't keep up? What does that mean to you? Oh, well, it means this and that, and go, how long has that been going on for?
Good.
If that wasn't an issue, could you build more homes?
Nice. Yep.
Do you see the difference there? Now, I want to go back to the elevator pitch because you didn't like that. But the reality is you're going to be around places. People are going, what is it you do? And I help builders build better systems. Like I wish I had the button. Doesn't work. But let's figure out what does work.
What about AI? So this is the other thing is like I help builders use AI to.
No, we're going to change it. Okay. This is one of my biggest things. It's either as a result of, meaning as a result of what I do, here's what I do, or did you know? And I love the did you know, or do you know?
Yeah.
So how do you relate to them? Do you know how most builders are building? I don't know your industry, so you're going to have to help me out here, but do this work with me. Do you know how most builders build, like, I'm going to say the best quality homes, whatever the worded verbiage is, right? $1 million homes, but the back end is a mess. Or what's the pain they're in? Do you know how most business owners, builder business owners, right, stay up at night wondering when the next project's going to come and or if they can even complete the project on time? But what I do is I eliminate. I've created. What I do is I help implement AI so that projects not only are on time, they get completed actually 80% faster than most builders in the space. Now, do I have your attention? You're not telling me everything you do. What you're telling me is, I know your problem. I have the solution, because then the next question is, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, how I do that exactly this. I work with builders, and then you get into it.
I love that.
That's the pitch.
Yeah. So
that's the pitch.
Do you know or did you know?
Yeah, it's either do you know or did you know? Or you can say as a result. So what does he do? Well, as a result of, right? As a result of business owners always being frustrated, home builders, not knowing when the next job is coming. You got to figure out what that pain is. Or as a result of the business of home builders, right? Not being able, I almost think job completion is probably one. I don't know anything about this industry, but I'm thinking most likely job completion is probably one of the biggest issues they have.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So as a result of job completions not being done and business owners, suffocating or being drowned by, the bombardment of that, as a result of I've implemented an AI system that helps them get the job done faster, cleaner, more effective 90% of the time. That's it. Get that out. Like whatever that is, nail that. Because the only thing your job is there is not to sell yourself. This is where a lot of people think, I got to sell them on the pitch, on the elevator. You really think you're going to sell someone on a $50,000 or $5,000 or $2,000 in 30 seconds? No. What your only job is to get the second question that comes out of their mouth after what is it you do is, how do you do that?
Yeah. I love that. That's super
And helpful. Then you have them hooked. Then you can take them to what you were trying to do with me. Ask them about questions.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll tell you what you're doing. I know we were on that podcast. We're trying to jump into it, coming to the end here. You were already trying to dictate where it should go, which is the wrong thing to do. You should just be present and ask the questions and let them dictate where it should go in the terms of what their problems are. So you were trying to force the problems onto me instead of just asking the right questions to discover what are the real problems this person has. Because here's what we do know. The problem they have is they have broken systems. They don't know how to hire. They don't have metrics. They don't have the thing working. They don't know when a lead comes in. They don't know when the project's going to complete. They're running around with their head cut off. But again, if you tell them that, it doesn't mean anything. And now here's the thing. They don't think that's the problem. I guarantee you, they think I can't find the right people. Or they think, my clients are a pain in my ass. So if you sell them systems and AI, they're not asking for it. They don't know about AI. They don't know about this. They don't want to pay for it. I don't want more headaches. Not knowing that very thing is the thing that's going to get them to where they want to go. So the whole golden rule in sales, you sell them what they want. You give them what they need.
Sell the vacation.
That's sure. That's an old way of saying it, but like for me, it's actually sell them what they actually want, because they might not want the fucking vacation.
Yeah, they
might not want a vacation. So why am I selling them a vacation? Right? I want to sell them what they want. So in my industry, 90% of the people I speak to think if I have a closer and a setter in my business, my life will change. So there's everyone selling, hey, I'll place a closer and a setter in your business and your business will change. That's not what they actually need. They actually need what you're talking about. They need the right systems. They need the right process. Because they don't even realize getting the right closer in is not going to solve their problem, because the closer is going to leave because they don't want to be hanging around with the broken down systems.
Yeah.
But if we go to the market and I say, I'm going to help you find the right system so you can find the right, no, I'm not interested. I don't think that's my problem. It's the same thing here. And I can only imagine, again, now I'm projecting, never project your own bullshit, but you're not my prospect and I'm not selling you, so I'm allowed to project whatever I want. Yeah. I can only imagine the stubborn kind of pig-headed type of guys you're dealing with, the business owners. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's their mindset. It's like they know what they want. Nothing's changing. AI, what's AI? I don't need AI. Like, so why are you selling them that?
I think because even though they are stubborn, like it's such a hot term nowadays that
100%.
They're familiar with like ChatGPT.
100%. So you're not going to sell them AI, but you're going to give them AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sell them as a result of AI, though. As a result. So let me ask you this. What is the number one, because we didn't even ask that. What is the number one pain that on average, that these builders are in? What's their number one, the 2 a.m. problem, the thing that keeps them up at night?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can reframe or
No. I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's distrust in marketing. It's distrust in an agency or a lead flow, if you want to call it that. It's these guys are.
Hold on. I love this, Grant. I love this. I just don't want you to go down the wrong rabbit hole here.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is gold here. Okay. Their number one pain, their 2 a.m. pain, is they don't trust marketing companies.
Their 2 a.m. pain is that they think they're losing money in a marketing company. They think that they're not getting the right leads. They think that they aren't getting the right type of projects.
Okay, hold on. Now we're getting somewhere. Because I'll tell you right now, their 2 a.m. problem isn't that they don't have the right marketing company. I can tell you that. Their 2 a.m. problem could be, hey, I'm not getting the right projects. Okay, I might believe that. But what is their, this is back to your ICP. What is their actual
the root problem, I guess, is that they can't pay their people.
Oh, my God. Okay. We're getting somewhere here. We're not cutting this off, by the way, even though we're supposed to. We ain't cutting this. We are bringing this on because this is gold. This is the real deal here. You've just said it. They wake up, they stay up at night wondering how they're going to pay the bills. Okay, so what's the stat? I guarantee you, if you did enough research, there is a stat that says somewhere. Now, do you know how 90% of home builders go out of business because they can't pay the bills for the next day? Well, what I do is that's what you're selling.
Bingo.
How do you do that? How I do that is very simple. I implement AI in sales process and tools so we know exactly where the projects are, how they get completed on time, how to pay your people, making sure you're not overpaying for all that stuff that they want to hear, but you don't have their attention yet. You got to get my attention by like, whoa, you're right. 90% of home builders, just like we know this, what do they call it? Developers, people think, oh, you make billions. They make billions, but they don't realize they're also worth negative billions too any given day, right? And that is scary as hell. So these builders, you know how builders want to keep getting jobs, and no matter how many jobs they keep getting, they still feel like they can't pay the bills? Well, what I do is I make them X. Well, what I do is I make sure that they never feel that pain again as a result of putting in the right people, tools, structure, and processes. So they know exactly where every dollar is going and every dollar is coming out.
Yep.
In fact, business owners who work with me not only end up having 3 months cash flow, they actually end up 6 months cash flow advance, knowing they have 6 months to survive on the current cash they have that doesn't even include the new business I generate for them.
Amazing.
Do I have your attention now?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Is that a little bit better then? I help business owners build better systems.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Grant, you've been great.
That made my day.
You've been great. This has been great. But here's where I got you wrong. I thought you knew your ICP. You do now, but you missed the one biggest thing. You know who you wanted to work with. That's one. But you also need to know what's the deepest, not the one deepest thing that keeps them up at night. That is their biggest problem, the thorn in their side, the thing that makes them like just crawl, their skin crawl. And from what we gathered here today, which I would see it because we're talking big dollars, a lot of contractors, blah, 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 is they don't know if they can pay the bills the next day. And you solve that problem. And to me, that's a massive problem. And that's a massive solve. Because I know if I was a business builder and you're telling me that I get to go to bed at night not having to worry if I can pay the bills, I'll know exactly where I am at, aka a cash flow sheet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know how many days I have to exist. I'll tell you this, why I said cash flow sheet. I was in business for 6 years without an actual real cash flow. I had P&Ls and all that, but I had no idea when in my head, I had an idea of when I would go out of business, but actually on paper. And what I thought was 6 months ended up being 12 months. 12 months. I used to operate like I only had 6 months, and I realized I have a year at that time. You get what I'm saying? You changed my life. Changed everything. You changed the way I slept, changed the way I made decisions, changed the way how I hired. It changed the business.
Oh, I love that. Do you recall, this is just out of curiosity, what the trigger was for you to say I got to get this, I got to actually put some time into this. I can't just rely on P&Ls anymore.
When I was telling someone on a private call, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out of business. I only have 30 days and I'm going to business. They go, how do you only have 30 days? I'm like, because I have this expense and this. They're like, how much cash flow do you have? I'm like, what do you mean cash flow? I go, I know what my expenses, I know what my income is. It's only 30 days. They're like, you don't actually have a cash flow sheet? I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't actually know how long you can actually really go before you're out? I'm like, no, I just know in my head. They're like, no. And they said this, no wonder why you're stressed out. No wonder why you don't sleep. And no wonder why you're acting erratic right now. And then right away you go, well, if I'm acting like that on a call with a stranger, how am I acting like that with my team as a leader with my people? Probably not great. So what does that result get? And then it was just like, oh my God, let's build it out. We built it out and it's a game changer. I actually live by it. It's the only thing. I don't actually look at my P&L. The only thing I look at is my cash flow because I just want to know how long I have to exist.
Yeah.
And my goal now is make that day every day farther and farther away.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let my accountant deal with the P&L. I deal with the P&L on the monthly basis. I deal with my cash flow every single day. And every day I sleep and I know where I'm at. I don't have to make hard decisions or have to wonder, can I afford it or not? I know exactly if I can afford it. I was just working on it today because I'm bringing on an extra 20 grand a month in expenses. And I went right to can I afford it? If I don't make an extra dollar, how much do I have this runs out before? How much does that kill my advancement of my cash flow? I know it all. Well, what happens if this also in 6 months, does it start producing even X dollars? And that produces X dollars. So I have it all right there. I can make way more effective decisions. I don't have to hum and haw anymore. And that clarity makes me a better business owner, allows me to have the energy. This is where people don't understand. The clarity allows me to have the energy to put into the right decision making to make more strategic decisions instead of foggy decisions that don't know if they work with me. And these builders keep making these decisions. They don't even know. They're making decisions from their gut, which is not always a bad thing, but without actual facts, data, and stats to show if it's the right decision or not. And you're coming in, and I could tell you're an analytical guy, you're coming in and giving them the exact same thing they need so they can rest at night, sleep at night, and not worry about if they can pay their employees. Worse, if we go deeper, it's not, here we go. Last one, we're going to end it here. 3 levels of pain. The first level is what we call surface level. Most salespeople, most business owners, marketing, the way they talk, you do not make sales on surface level. Surface level pain here is I stay up at night because I don't know if I can pay my people. Second level, this is deeper level. This is business financial level. Okay. As a result of me not being able to know if I can pay my people, I'm not making enough money, or I don't know if I can get what contracts I need to get to actually pay the bills. And now my business is suffering. And if I can't pay my bills, I can't afford my lifestyle. Oh no, how am I going to pay little Johnny and little Susie and my wife? Okay. Ooh, we got somewhere here. But what about the third level? Personal level. As a result of me not knowing if I can pay the bills and being stressed out and staying up at night and knowing that I won't be able to pay my bills and maybe actually have to go out of business and I don't know what I'm going to do for Susie and I can't afford the bills. And I told my wife we'd go on the trip and now we can't do that. Ooh, how does that make me feel as a man?
Oh, yeah.
Did I ever think at 30, at 40, at 50, whatever, my life would be like this? How am I showing up to be the man for my wife if I can't even take care of the bills? Do we have your attention?
Tell them that I failed.
Do we have the attention now?
Oh, that's great. That's super helpful.
Most people, salespeople, business owners, won't go to level 3. You want to know why? Because they're too scared to go there themselves. They're not even willing to face their own demons. So how could they ever hold space to hold the conversation to allow it to go to that level on a sales call, in their marketing, in their newsletters, in their emails? They're not willing to go there themselves.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And that was another episode of The Vault Unlocked, where proven builders, real strategies, and unstoppable growth happens. Subscribe now. The next unlock could be your success. The code is cracked. The vault is open.